Taking a live look right now from Sky Fox. Major progress in battling the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire as well. But you know, the fight is far from over, with yet another dangerous wind event, we're told, on the way. And with that, good morning. Welcome to Good Day LA at 7 o'clock. I'm Jen Lammers.
And I'm Melvin Robert. That's right. Strong winds do return this week, presenting what could be a potential setback for firefighters. In the Palisades fire zone, 8 lives have been lost at this time. The fire has burned nearly 24,000 acres with only 14% containment. LAFD's chief says that more than 5,000 structures are destroyed or damaged, and 11,000 more are under threat. And one clarification point: when they talk about structures, they were mentioning this yesterday. It could be homes, it could be cars, it could be buildings, it could be businesses. It's not just all, and I'm not saying that to minimize. I'm just a point of clarification.
Right. And the Eaton fire has taken at least 16 lives. More than 1,400 structures have been damaged or destroyed. It's burned more than 14,000 acres, and it now stands at 33% contained.
More than 14,000 firefighters are on the front lines of the wildfire, fighting vigorously this morning.
Absolutely. But even before the fires subside, a new struggle emerges for victims of all the devastation, one of loss, one of confusion, and an uncertain future. Mario Ramirez is live in Brentwood with the latest. Good morning to you, Mario.
Good morning. We were just talking to a resident here off camera. She was in tears. She didn't want to speak with us on camera, but she did say that she's been out of her home since Tuesday, desperate to get her medications, and pleading for more help now, not tomorrow, not in a couple of days. They are desperate to get into their neighborhood. So you see here behind me at San Vicente and 26th, these are California National Guard members joining LAPD officers, and they are in place here to keep these fire zones secure as the Palisade fire continues to burn, with another wind event moving in that could make things worse before they get better. Now, thousands of firefighters from across several states continue to battle the stubborn flames with a break in the gusty Santa Ana winds. Crews struggled with steep terrain as they tried to protect homes in Mandeville Canyon. That's northwest of the Getty Center and west of the 405 freeway in Brentwood, with some homes unfortunately overcome by flames. By 7 o'clock last night, the fire was 13% contained, up from 11% in the afternoon, but residents and officials on edge with another strong wind event picking up, affecting West LA and much of Ventura County. The LAPD Chief Jim McDonald, during a Sunday news conference, announced those escorts would be suspended until further notice as crews start searching for human remains, but the frustration here in these areas continuing to build.
The devastation's being compounded by the chaos of not knowing anything.
They don't care about us as the public. They have no interest in keeping us informed. There's thousands and thousands of people who have been affected by this, who've lost their homes, and the government is showing no compassion for us.
We're just waiting in these lines of cars, and just trying to understand when we can get in to see our homes. I understand that the military is here, or I guess the military lockdown that's happening. So we're hoping that they're keeping the looters out, and that's like one of the, I think, a lot of people's concerns too, is like they can't get any kind of private security up there, any confirmation of what's going on up there.
In the past couple of days, we've seen these long lines of cars waiting for possible police escorts into their homes. Dozens waiting here on San Vicente Sunday, only to find out that they were all canceled because of the fire activity and incoming winds. And keep in mind, these neighborhoods, even if homes are still standing, are still dealing with downed utility poles and open gas lines and other public safety concerns surrounding these escorts. Now, coming back out here live, more residents trying to get access, pleading with law enforcement here. County officials say Kaiser Permanente doctors are assisting residents with medications at evacuation centers. And we told you a little earlier, Walgreens has announced that it is filling medications without prescriptions during the Southern California wildfires. We'll keep you posted here in Brentwood. I'm Mario Ramirez. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Mario. Yeah, he was talking to a contractor, as you heard earlier, who was just trying to get in there to get stuff cleared out, and he can't even do that. There's a lot of confusion, but hopefully that will be cleared up at a news conference that's set for 8 o'clock this morning. They've been doing, of course, daily briefings there. But in the meantime, let's get to Stu over in Sky Fox. He is over the Palisades fire. I mean, Stu, you can attest to this. I was driving into work this morning, for the first time, did not see a glow on the ridge. It does seem like there's been substantial progress made, thank goodness.
You know, Jen, we cannot speak for the fire departments and or any of the fire management out here for the Palisades area, but I can tell you just from visually, it definitely looks like we have turned that corner, and hopefully those flames are going to stay at bay. Take a look at that. We're showing you some of that destruction right there, but what do you not see in this picture? You don't see any of that smoke. You don't see any of that haze or any of that firefighting activity in the air, and that is a huge positive. Even this morning when Skyfox took off early in the morning and it's very dark outside, these cameras are designed really well, and any kind of small ember would really pop against that black background, especially up in the hillsides. We didn't see any of that. Now, of course, this is just visual from us. Like I always say, I'm just a guy in the back of a helicopter, but we're also taking a look at some of that devastation once again. That's that Palisades neighborhood that we once saw when we were making all that crazy effort to see through the haze and smoke. This morning, we don't have any of that, but all that devastation definitely remains out there. But we do see law enforcement. That's what we saw in the very first shot, and they are out here in force. They are definitely keeping an eye on all these people's properties. They don't want to add insult to injury with some sort of looting type of situation. But right now, as the fire goes, I'm really very hopeful and positive that when this next wind event comes, we're just going to start dealing with the ash and debris blowing off these hillsides. But take a look at that. 23,000 acres burned, most of it up in these hillsides, and it is completely void of any kind of vegetation. Everybody that lives in Los Angeles, we know what's coming next. But right now, we're just dealing with what we're dealing with, and hopefully this next wind event will not see any fires. Sending it back to you all, Mr.
Oh my God! When you I mean, it's still really hard to wrap your head around when you see all that.
It's unrecognizable.
Destruction.
Unrecognizable.
It is.
You think about all the people, man. Good Lord.
I've heard from people who were able to go early on, and just it's so different. What we're seeing and we're feeling, what we're feeling, it's unimaginable walking through the aftermath of this. I can just imagine. I have some family members that have lost homes, and I just, my heart, you know, for not just for them, for everyone who have been impacted by this. And we're looking at it through the lens here, and it's so impactful.
Especially right now, Maria, I can imagine too, if it can seem so insurmountable, like where do I even begin?
Yeah.
You know, to pick up the pieces of and move myself through a new reality that I've been forced into.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
That's right.
Really.
It's got to be where you are right now.
Yeah.
I spoke to my sister-in-law and I said, "What did you do?" She said, I went to Target and I went to get some underwear.
Right. Yeah.
And just some stuff, you know. Yeah, just perspective, just one at a time.
That's right.
One thing at a time. It's going to be a long road. Here we go. Let's talk about the winds right now and that air quality outside. Did you see that shot, by the way, that was behind me? Kind of that beautiful shot, but very hazy shot. I cannot emphasize, again, the air quality that is over our city right now, really the county of Los Angeles. So keep that in mind as you head out. Limit your exposure to the outdoors when you can, and wear a mask if you can. I know a lot of kids are back in school today, so administrators very mindful of that as well. And so keeping them inside for recess in the gym, which we very much appreciate as parents, especially with those kids who have upper respiratory issues, mine included, with asthma and the like. The winds right now, 20 to 30 miles an hour in some areas. It is going to get gustier as we get to the afternoon. Some of these areas here in Altadena, lighter winds. That is fantastic news. Downtown LA also very light at the moment. Out towards Corona, Ontario, San Bernardino, some breezier conditions here. Some of the usual spots off the 210 through that Cajon Pass. If you're driving up towards the 15, you're going to encounter some of those gustier winds. So the peak of this next wind event, hopefully will be the last one for a little bit, is going to be tomorrow morning. This is what the National Weather Service is pointing out, 4 a.m. to noon on Wednesday. That's when we're going to start to see the heaviest of the winds. So that's when you really have to stay alert. These red flag warnings, of course, will continue through at least Wednesday. And then as we look ahead to the end of the week and the weekend, there is a chance. It's small at this point, but we're holding out hope for that 10 to 20% chance, perhaps for some sprinkles and a deeper upper marine layer, which will give us more moisture in the atmosphere. In the meantime, it's chilly. 41 degrees in downtown LA, so bundle up. 44 in Burbank, 46 in Santa Monica, 50s in Oxnard. We've got the teens up in the high desert in Lancaster, 31 in Apple Valley. It is cooler than yesterday by 13 degrees in Big Bear, 3 to 5 degrees cooler out towards the Inland Empire. Santa Monica considerably and noticeably cooler than yesterday by about 11 degrees. As we look at our high temperatures today, we'll be close to average. 68 is the average for downtown, so we're going to be close to that. 69, mid-60s along the coast, low 60s for the valleys and the IE. So yeah, make sure those kids have those hoodies and sweatshirts. 30s up into the mountains today. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you very much. Well, LA County officials are cracking down on looting and arson that is tied to the recent wildfires. District Attorney Nathan Hochman, alongside law enforcement leaders, will announce charges today at 2 p.m. in downtown LA. This includes residential looting in Pacific Palisades and a suspected arson incident in Azusa. Authorities have made dozens of arrests and are strictly enforcing curfews in evacuation zones. Meantime, LA County Sheriff Robert Luna says deputies encountered a man impersonating a firefighter. This was when Gigi and I were here yesterday during the press conference. We couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
They say that he was sitting on a curb and Luna asked him if he was okay, only to discover he was in handcuffs. Deputies say that they caught him burglarizing a home, and Luna asked him if it was okay because he was dressed as a firefighter, by the way. Several others have been arrested for violating curfew, and 2 people are in custody after attempting to set other fires.
Unconscionable.
Jen,
it's unconscionable.
my goodness.
I don't understand. Well, the LA Unified School District will reopen offices in most schools today. The only schools, in fact, that will stay closed are those that are in the evacuation zone. So here is a look at the schools located in those mandatory evacuation areas that will remain closed. Okay, so you have Canyon Charter Elementary, Kenter Canyon Charter Elementary, Lanai Road Elementary, Marquez Charter Elementary, Palisades Charter Elementary, Paul Revere Middle School, Topanga Elementary Charter School. Both Palisades and Charter Marquez will need to be rebuilt before they can reopen.
And for the schools that are open, because of air quality issues, masks are recommended for students while on the way to school. Outdoor activities will be limited. Webster Middle School will serve as a food distribution center for those impacted by all the closures, and it will open 9 a.m. to 12 noon today.